Hey there, gang. Here's a quick tip for you guitar players, specifically if you play rhythm or acoustic. And it's something I learned early on. My old roommate, Scott Kempner from the Del Lords and the Dictators, you know, a lot of us tend to put flourishes and accents when we're playing. And he said to me once, hey man, stop trying to imitate the drummer. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, you know, when you're doing that, doing those pickup notes kind of things. And those can be effective, used sparingly and dynamically in a particular spot of the song to, you know, to pick it up. But he had a point. Stop being the drummer. You're the guitar player. Let the drummer drum. And this really came home for me when I moved to Nashville and I was working with Dave Hungate. Now, a lot of you may know Dave Hungate was the bass player in Toto, and he was the amazing bass player on Boz Scaggs' Silk Degrees, and I think the album after that, and a bunch of other, he was a studio guy before Toto, so he played on I mean, I think he plays on Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond. Yeah, hundreds and hundreds of hit songs and TV commercials and films and stuff. But when we used to work in the studio, he worshiped Bob Babbitt, and Bob Babbitt was playing bass with us, but I wanted Hungate to be there because he's like the best musician in Nashville. So he's like, oh, don't worry, I'll play guitar. Now, he plays guitar. He also plays like a half a dozen other instruments expertly. It's very annoying. But when he went to play guitar, he showed me something, and he's like, well, sometimes I'll leave off the first eighth note. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a cool idea. And then he's locking in with the hi-hat, but also sometimes leaving off the first eighth note. But he wasn't doing those, right? What he was doing was very simple, but supremely in the pocket, like, really simple. He was working with the drummer, working with the hi-hat, and leaving space for the drummer, but also not getting in the way of other instruments and their phrasing. And he was right. Like, you could just keep it very simple. And sometimes he would just be old downstrokes. So back it up, you know what I mean? Like subtract, don't add, and you might find it works better and sounds better in the recording. And again, if there's a moment in the song where it's just gotta, you know, and you want to do that, you know, that triplet thing to fill in and build up and just kick in the next section, cool, as long as it's in time. But what works best is really simple. And you'll find it just opens things up. Check it out.